Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again, and we're going to look at another Versus game in the Nintendo Arcade Versus cabinet. And this one was also created for the NES. This was created by Sunsoft and Sunsoft Software and Sunsoft in 1988. And this is based on the 1986 Oscar-winning movie Platoon, and this is Versus Platoon. It was a movie about the Vietnam War, and the director Oliver Stone, who won Best Director Oscar and the Best Picture Oscar for Platoon, was a Vietnam veteran. And there are 4 different stages in this game. The first takes place in the jungles, like there, and you shoot the enemies and move through different paths in the jungle. In the second area, it takes place in these tunnels. You have to shoot enemies that pop up with your crosshairs, and you go in different rooms to collect different items. And then the third stage takes place in a bunker, and you can shoot flares to light up the sky because it's really dark, and enemies pop up out of the bushes to shoot at you. And then the last level is the hardest by far, and you play a kind of a commando type game where you have to shoot the enemies that run back and forth at the top of the screen that are shooting at you, and just move to the top of the screen and left or right usually, and just get to the end and take out the guy at the base. Just a brutally hard game at times, and the Versus version, the arcade version, is harder than the NES version. The enemies pop up more often, they are quicker on the trigger perhaps. Just generally harder. I've played the NES version. I think I remember it being easier than the arcade version. But yeah, this is incredibly loosely based on the movie. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie, but I imagine that this really doesn't have much in common with the movie at all. But if you've played the NES version and can kind of remember the path it takes to get to the end on the first level, this is totally different in the Versus version. It is not the same map. So, sorry, you're going to have to draw a different map for the arcade version. I had to. But fortunately, it's much more straightforward in the arcade version. In the NES version, you have to take alternate paths to get to the explosives that you have to pick up, and then you have to backtrack. Well, the explosives are on the way to the goal in the Versus version. But you have to pick up the explosives first in this jungle scenario. And you have to really, really keep your eyes peeled because the traps, the booby traps, are very, very hard to see, and they will instantly cost you a life if you walk over one. See, it says status, and that means how many lives you've lost, I think. And then you have a finite amount of ammo. And notice on the far right it says hits. When you have suffered 4 hits, you die. You lose a life. And sometimes when you kill an enemy, they will drop a med pack. And when you pick that med pack up, you will recover a hit. And you press a jump button to jump over bullets or over booby traps. And you press left or right to walk left or right. And you press up or down to go up or down through the tunnels. Just watch the way that I'm walking and try to remember it, but you also have, of course, a fire button. You will need to collect explosives, and I think they're right here, yeah. You pick up the explosives. Now you must find the bridge, and it is on the way in this game, in the Versus game. Like I said, in the NES, the maze is much bigger. and you have to backtrack once you pick up the explosives. This maze is much shorter, but yeah, they're totally different mazes. But once you get to the bridge, you will automatically set the explosives, and the bridge will blow up. Then you will make your way to a village, and there are like 6 huts that you can enter, and there are items you can look at, and there will be some booby traps that can kill you, or can fill up your hit meter and make you lose a life. The amount of hits you can take vary on the levels. Or it may vary. You might have... well, in this area, if the hit meter fills up, you lose 1 life, and you can have, like, I think... what was it, 3 lives? But in later levels, you are forced to continue if you lose a life. And again, watch out for those booby traps. They are super hard to see. It is just a tripwire. Here, I automatically set those. It looks like I died or something, but you don't. Don't worry. You just fall down when the explosion happens. And again, sometimes they will drop a med pack, and when you collect it, you recover a hit. But those tripwires are very hard to see. Keep an eye open for them. They're very, very, very difficult to distinguish. Now here in the village, do not shoot the villagers. The villagers are wearing blue. The enemies are green. Shoot the enemies. If you shoot a villager, you will... your morale will slip down, and when your morale is 0, you lose a life, I believe. Now, some of these things you can look at are booby trapped, but only the bags that say like X on them or whatever they say. There will be a map you'll want to pick up, a pot of rice. There will be a map you'll want to pick up in one of these houses or huts. There will be a torch you'll want to pick up, and that's in the last hut. And then the second to last hut has the goal, and that'll be the way to the second level. Here is a map of the tunnel system. See, I wanted to pick that up. You can look at like just a regular table or a stool, and it'll say this is a table or this is a stool or something like that. And there is a pot of rice. But on the right in that hut was the door to the second level. But first I want to get this torch. You have found a torch. And I think that thing that said X in that room was a booby trap. But sometimes there will be snipers sticking out of the ground, so you gotta watch out. Just jump over their shots. Now we're going to the tunnel system. And this can be kind of difficult. The enemies can pop up real quick, and you need to quickly move the crosshairs over onto them and shoot. Conserve your ammunition. There will be rooms where you can get more ammo. Ah, damn it. You have to react quickly. A lot quicker, I think, than the NES version. You can check the drawers. Like, if you look at nothing, it says, what? Some secret documents. Those are just for points. F. That is a flare, I believe. It looks like a stool to me. The flare is for the next level. But, not all those rooms will have anything. One of them has like a broken ladder. That one of the rooms has a ladder that you can escape to the next level from. One of them has a broken ladder and you can't escape in that room. But yeah, conserve your ammo, but there will be a number of rooms that will give you more ammunition. And there will be one room that you want to go to that has the compass. You'll want to get that compass. You'll want to get the flare. And various rooms will have ammo. You can refill your ammunition there. And then there's one room that has rotten food. You don't want that. Well, there, now I have the flare and the compass. Now I have to find the exit. And that's to the right. You see that one room to the right? I have to get around there. Around to get to it. Oops. Your history. I died. And now I can continue. I'll continue. I'll beat this level. The final level is a real pain in the ass. I couldn't get anywhere in it, so I just died like right away. What you want to do in that one is there's a guy that runs across the screen at the top. You need to hit him like 5 times and then he'll stop attacking you. But there's also a sniper at the bottom that takes occasional shots at you. It's a real pain in the ass. But we'll get to that eventually. And once you beat that one, it's game over and you're treated to a little cinema sequence. I remember playing this on the NES. I couldn't get anywhere on this level, but the arcade map and the NES map to this level are the same. They're not the same layouts for the first level. Keep that in mind. But yeah, you press fire when you are on these crates to see what's inside them. Medical supplies, yeah, you can heal your hits with those. I think that's funny. That's awesome when you're like not looking at anything and it says, what? You're hit. But yeah, this level takes a while to get used to, and it sucks you can't just back up when you're facing the wrong way. You have to turn around and then move. Kinda sucks. Well, let's go in here. Let's get our what's this, the compass? Oh, no, medical supplies. Yeah, compass and flare, you want to get those. And again, one room has rotten food. You don't eat it, don't worry. But I've never seen the Versus version of Platoon, and I'm sure it's extremely rare. But I've definitely played the NES version, and it's really hard. It's not all that good a game, and like I said, it has pretty much nothing to do with the movie. But here's the room to exit. Just click on the ladder, and out you go. And this is the third level. Now you can fire that, yeah, you can fire that bazooka to shoot off a flare, but really, you don't need it. You can still make out the silhouettes of the enemy even in the dark. But you have to kind of shoot them directly. If you like shoot them in the shoulder, it's probably not going to register. And you have a significant amount of time, even after they're shooting, to take them down. Whoops. I still gotta continue once more. But yeah, you have to shoot them right on. They'll give you plenty of time to shoot them. Their machine gun will fire for a little while until you actually get hit. So just keep your eyes peeled for their silhouette. Move over right directly on them and shoot. And only if you've got plenty of time, then fire a flare. Otherwise, just don't bother with it. I wouldn't. I think I almost beat this time. You just have to take out X amount of enemies. Crap. You didn't make it. Your platoon has been destroyed. Game over. And then you got to put in your initials if you made at least, I think, 50,000. I got over 100,000. The top score is like 1 million. You got to put in a lot of initials. Well, that's versus Platoon by Ocean Software and Sunsoft in 1988 for the Nintendo vs. Arcade Cabinet. Based on the Oscar-winning Oliver Stone Vietnam War film. Mr. Stone himself was a Vietnam War veteran. I decided not to continue there, but let's look at me beating the third stage. So you can barely see him, and it, you know, as long as you shoot him pretty directly, then you don't really need the flare. You'll have enough time to take them out. You can see them kind of appearing in the background, and then they give you a little extra time even after they fire to be able to hit them. Oops, you're hit. You just have to take out, I don't know, probably 30 or so. Probably more than that. And then the level will end. But yeah, I hate that last level. It's like the old classic game Commando, except the enemies are shooting a lot more often, and you have to hit the enemy repeatedly until they stop appearing. And all the while you're trying to take that enemy out, there's the end of that level, then another sniper is trying to take shots at you. We'll just take a brief look at that, and then we'll look at the end. But you reach the top, and you like either move up or left or right. You want to try to mostly do left and right, but we'll skip ahead in just a moment. Here is the end, and you have to grenade this guy enough times, and then you'll get this ending. And you're timed in that last part. I haven't seen Platoon in forever. I know it's one of the greatest war films of all time. And I think that's Charlie Sheen's character there. Charlie Sheen and Willem Dafoe and Tom Berenger and Johnny Depp in a smaller role. Pretty awesome movie. Like I said, Best Picture and Best Director, I think, Oscars. That is versus Platoon by Ocean Software and Sunsoft in 1988 for the Nintendo vs. Arcade Cabinet. We'll be looking at some more versus titles in the near future. Well, that was versus Platoon by Ocean Soft and Sunsoft in 1988 for the Nintendo vs. Arcade Cabinet. This is Crazy Clam Ready saying thanks for watching versus Platoon based on the Oscar-winning movie. I will catch you later in the future with another video. Hope you all had happy holidays, folks. Bye-bye.